Another go around at this. I guess tell me, does this one feel a little different than the past years?
The NCAA tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always different for me. Every year's different because I have different players and different opportunities. So this one's definitely different. I think the thought and how we got to get there is the same, but everything in between is totally different. So the start and the finish is definitely different.
Had a lot of shots, in games going down the stretch, but I know people like Kadisha have mentioned teams have been basically parking a bus in front of the goal.
She's funny. Yeah. Wish I thought of that.
I mean, is that the thing now? I mean, just trying to figure out a way to combat that.
Yeah, it was interesting when we went to the Big 12 tournament. Two teams definitely played a 5-back against us, so that was definitely something we needed to figure out and overcome. And I thought the team did very well with that all year long. But it's hard. It's hard to have the patience. It's hard to kind of keep the emotions in check, but also make good decisions when there's so many people around the net. And as Keisha said, the bus.
Do you anticipate Georgetown?
I don't know if they will, just because our first go at it, that wasn't their game plan. So, I don't know. I don't know if Dave would do that or not. So it'll be interesting to see if that's something he might come out with.
You got a ton of shots that first game, 26 shots, 13 on goal. I think Kadisha had it off the set piece. I think that was your one goal there.
Yeah, I mean, every team right now, both teams rather, are different. Both teams are different as both of us have gone through conference play. Obviously, they lost their conference championship. We won, but both teams got better to get there. So it'll be a good question, and I'll be interested to see what happens on Saturday.
What was the atmosphere like here yesterday?
It's great, upbeat. We're excited. We're getting back at it, and we know that early August we set out to be focused in this tournament and make sure we advance, and that's where the team is right now. So their mentality's in a great place.
Have they completely changed since your Big East days, or are there any similarities then?
Oh, there's, Dave would tell you the same thing from Georgetown, that he's going to see some West Virginia soccer that he saw in the Big East days. I mean, I think both of us are different because we have different players, but I think there's a lot of similarities that, I can definitely trademark as a Georgetown style of play.
How much value do you put in that game that you guys played early in the season? How much tape do you sit back and watch of that game?
Again, both teams are going to be a bit different, but, they have Daphne, and she's a special player, and I think it's important to see where she broke us down. So we'll watch some of that, but, hopefully, just understanding that both teams have gotten better.
On Monday, you said you don't like comparing teams, but what has it been for you coaching this group of girls this year?
It's been an absolute pleasure. I would have to say that every day I look forward to coming out and training them and trying to find a way to make them better and challenge each individual player, but also collectively challenge this team to be better. So not only am I challenging them, but they're challenging me to make them better and to make me a better coach. So it's definitely something I don't want to end, and I want to go all the way as far as we can with this team.
Is there something you could take out of this team different from other years, or you really try to teach the same thing every year?
Every team's different, and we've had different obstacles and different people doing different things. So it's definitely different just because you're dealing with human beings and different human beings. The one difference in this team that I've rarely had is just different moments, different players are stepping up. I mean, there's, you're not going to look at and see, oh, there's Frances Silva, she scored all our goals. Right. If I'm scouting West Virginia, I'm a little nervous because it's going to come from everywhere. Right. So I love that diversity of the team, so our versatility of this team, and I think that makes it really unique.
You never really know until they get on campus, but with A-Bam, was she somebody that you could see early on was going to be able to make an impact, and at as many different spots on the field?
No, that poor kid. I feel bad for her. I mean, there's never been a kid that I've asked so much from than a Bam. I can't even think, somebody, I'm sure I'll get a phone call from an alumni telling me I did, but nobody, I have not asked a kid like that to do as many things in their freshman year that I asked a Bam to do. But, that being said, it's easy to identify an under 18 national team player saying, hey, you're going to come in and impact the program. That's easy. But you never know with freshmen. You know, I've seen national team kids not impact programs. So, you know, with Michaela, you just had to, you know, really just find her comfort zone. And once she started getting in her comfort zone, obviously she impacted the Big 12 in this program.
Plus, I mean, she's a long way from home as well. You had that whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm her mom away from home. Yes, she'll tell you that too, and make sure you ask her that. I take good care of her. Yeah, but now that is definitely an issue, and I know, you know, there's always that concern when you're either that far from home, and I understand that. My staff understands it, and the players know that we have some kids that are further away from home, so we just have to make sure that they're always included and taken care of.
Nikki, I know when we talked in the preseason, you know, the last few years in the tournament have been a little bit of a frustration. You know, what is the next step, and do you feel like this year's team can make that next step to maybe an Elite Eight or beyond?
Yeah, you know, the NCAA tournament is definitely, you know, an area that we want to impact more than we have. You know, we don't feel that one, you know, Elite Eight or 3 Sweet 16s are enough. It's definitely an area that I know this team wants to separate themselves from and define themselves. You know, and again, every team wants to be the first. So I would imagine that this team is going to be resilient and attack this opportunity with resiliency. So I'm just going to go along for the ride.
Has the 3 seed turned into motivation a little bit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're playing against the NCAA selection committee and Georgetown on Saturday.
Kind of funny, the weather on your the stat sheet from your first Georgetown game says cool and overcast. I'm guessing maybe a little cooler.
It's going to be cooler. That's why we're not playing at 7, because we wanted people to come. No, we didn't want our toes to fall off. Yeah, it's hey, it's that time of year. You know, you can't get cold because it's tournament time. So our adrenaline will keep us pumping. But yeah, it's going to be a different atmosphere for sure from a climate perspective. But again.
Did you get to choose the game time, or did
I did?
You did
Yeah,
get to choose
I
the
did.
game time?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What is your involvement with ODP, and what is the importance of that program to you?
Yeah, well,
Sorry, it's a little random.
no, it's not random. So you know, I started the Olympic Development Program here in the state of West Virginia, so I want that on my grave. And then I have also contributed to the Region 1 ODP program, and I was a regional coach for them. So I've done both for numerous years, and now I'm just with the national teams. I just contribute with the under 20 and 23 national teams. So I've kind of stepped back, but anytime the ODP program needs some help here in the state, I've obviously volunteered my services. So unfortunately, with 3 children, a major program, and now putting on my U.S. national team hat, it's a little bit tough, but I'd always contribute to that program. I think it's critical.
Why did you think that they needed it, you know? Here?
Absolutely.
Like,
Opportunity, just as, you know, Kansas State needs a women's soccer program. More opportunity to play the best sport in the world. And I just wanted to give this state an opportunity, and the young women in this state an opportunity to at least have a choice. I know where I grew up in New York, we had that choice, and kids that have those dreams of being on the national team should have that choice here in the state.